Hi everybody, welcome back to day 8 of Happy Holidays, where every day I share a haul a day with you. Be sure to stay tuned till the end of today's video to find out what my deal of the day is. We sent out so many packages today, so thank you to everybody who's participating and taking advantage of these great deals. One of my best friends recently went to a dinner with her girlfriends and they each had to bring a grab gift, and she didn't know what to get. She ended up going into Anthropologie and getting an expensive candle, and she had a couple other things. It sounded like a really cute gift, but she spent upwards of $40 to get this grab gift that she didn't really seem too excited about. And it got me thinking, I think we could do so much better for grab gifts at the thrift store. Not only grab gifts, but if you go to a white elephant party, maybe you're at a Yankee swap, all these parties where you have this pressure to bring gifts, usually there's a budget attached, typically like 20, 25, 30, 40, whatever the amount is. I guarantee you can find some amazing things at the thrift store to give as a grab gift, a hostess gift, all of the above. Just before I left for the thrift store, I asked my followers on Instagram to let me know what their go-to grab gift is. I'm going to see what people respond, and I'm going to test myself and see if I can find some of these items at Savers for less. I really never know what I'm going to find when I go into the thrift store, but let's just go and see what we can find for grab gifts. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an upload. Before we go in, I have to drop off some decluttering I already started for the renovation. I have to start getting rid of stuff. We're getting new floors. All this stuff is happening in January, and I have so much clutter to get rid of. Hi, how are you? Good. Okay, this is everything going. Lots of glassware, vases, things that break. Gone. All right, I just checked Instagram. I already have some great ideas. It is so cold out today. Right, someone said that they like to thrift frames and then print out family photos. This is a lovely frame from Kohl's. It's $24.99, still new, and it's kind of this walnut color, which I've been loving lately. $5.99. It's an 8x10. You could even, if you want, do like a whitewash over this if you want to soften it up a little bit, but I think that is a great idea. A lot of these frames I don't love, but plus, I have a hard time with smaller frames because I feel like they feel very cluttery, but this I thought was the nicest one here. So $5.99, 20% off. You put a nice family 8x10 in there, and that is a great idea. Scarves and gloves were mentioned multiple times in my survey, and I found one that I really like. This is my favorite of the bunch. It feels very holiday and beyond, and I love this. It feels really Ralph Lauren vibes, which is really popular right now. It's $4.99. I am going to take this one home and wash it in the gentle cycle, and I haven't found what I want to pair this with, but I love this scarf. I haven't managed to find any new gloves. These are new socks, but not anything that I would pick up. Let me see. We're going to keep looking. I actually think this is really cute, the little hat with the heart and the scarf. This is Rose Vanilla. I just always make sure the wick is brand new. This is $5.99, plus I got a 20% off coupon. But this is a really pretty one, very neutral, would go with just about anything. Also, there's this style. I don't like this quite as much, but it's festive. No, this one looks kind of dirty. Wouldn't get that. This one I think is cute because it has like a protective plastic around it. Oh no, that's been used. Nope, nope, nope. Another option is to get something like this, and then you can buy your own little tea lights to put in here, and then the wax goes on top. They have all sorts of options for this. I think coming over to the vase section is a great option if you are somebody who likes to bring a plant or fresh flowers. I always like to go for neutral stuff like this that many people can enjoy. You know, they have plenty of options in white and cream. You could even repurpose this and put treats in here. This is really pretty. I like that. I would be more cautious with bright colored things unless you know somebody's decor. If they like a certain color, then you can go for that. But neutral, I think, always works. Okay, this is my favorite candle that I found. It just looks very gifty. It's hand poured, unscented, $3.99, in really decent condition, and I think would look cute. Okay, somebody mentioned that they love to bring games for the family, which I think is a great idea and something that I've never really thought about. This is a really beautiful Scrabble board, but the box is super beat up. So I just wanted to open it up to see the condition, and it is beautiful inside, and it's on a turntable, and then all of the pieces are right there. And then I might even take it out of this box and put it in a really pretty box for presentation, because Scrabble's kind of like a classic. I'm curious what games you like with the family. This was a big game in my family. My mom and dad played this all the time, and I think this board is really pretty. And it's $5.99 plus 20% off. I was struggling with this because I wasn't sure how it would present if that were taken out of the box. But I don't think I would put it in another box. I actually think I would take that Scrabble board, clean it all up, put it in a basket with the pouch of all of the tiles separate and these little tile holders. If there were any instructions, I would include those too. I like how they displayed this here because they showed all of the letters. On the board, there is a section that tells you how many of each letter you should have. So before I buy any board games for a family to gift, I would make sure it came with all of the pieces. But this is a vintage set from 1977. So for the people in your life who like vintage stuff, this could really be cool, like for a game night presentation. Let me know what you think about that thought. I thought this was such a wonderful idea, but I just didn't find any games per se that I was excited about, except for this. What would you do? Another go-to that was mentioned was olive oil, spicy oil, like bread and wine, which I thought was such a great idea. I found this really beautiful. It looks like new. It says premium olive oil, like glass jar, very clean. Like I said, looks like brand new. And then this is a book that I found that says The New American Olive Oil. And I think this is just really aesthetic and pretty. I am big into getting books, but only if they're pretty. The illustrations in here are gorgeous to go with the olive oil. And then if you go and you get your fresh bread and wine to go with this, I mean, this is gorgeous. Another book that I found to be really nice, if you have somebody who's really into cocktails, The Art of the Bar Cart. So maybe you find a couple of vintage, 1950s like highball glasses or something to that effect. You get some shakers, and I thought this was like a really cool looking book to go with that. It was sold at Francesca's. It's funny. Again, I think these photos are super aesthetic and inspiring. You could even find some of the stuff from the wine cart in here and go and try to find those to accompany your gift. I think people would absolutely love this. I don't typically go for expensive cookbooks because, for me at least, I find most of my stuff online. But if it's something that I can use in my decor, something that's simple or aesthetic, then I will definitely go for it. So examples of books that I personally wouldn't pick up. This looks a little beat up and dated. This is something I would not gift personally. The Best of America's Test Kitchen, that is a good book, regardless of what year it's from, but I don't like the condition of this jacket. In some cases, if the book is good, you can just look inside. Like, now that is pretty to me. I would take this jacket off and give it like this because that is beautiful. In fact, this might even be something nice for my mom. You want to look inside, make sure it's good, but that is a little bit of a hack. If the jacket is dating the book or making it look dingy or old, see what's underneath, because this is so my vibe. I love that. I found something that I'm debating on either keeping or maybe giving to Anthony. This is a Bodum French press with 2 glasses. It's brand new. I looked on the Target website, and I believe this sells for like $39, $10.49. I'll have 20% off, so a little over $8. Now, the box itself isn't in great condition. However, I would take this right out of the box. See, somebody got this as a gift. I would take this right out of the box. I mean, look at that. It's brand new. So I might take this and put this in a basket with the 2 glasses, and then get some, whole beans and maybe like a coffee grinder and gift that. That is beautiful. That is so nice. And yeah, even the mugs, again, very neutral. Would go with anybody's decor. I love this. I'm definitely taking this home with me. All right, somebody said they always give holiday jammies. I don't know if I have enough time to go through here and look, but I'm gonna say at first glance, the pattern that stands out the most is buffalo plaid. So you could definitely come in. There's a buffalo plaid right there. There's a little buffalo plaid here. Another version of it. If you felt comfortable enough like mixing and matching, I think you could do really well buying for multiple people in the buffalo plaid pattern, or you could go like solid red and match it with some buffalo plaid, or get shirts that have the black and red in them, so somehow you could get it all to tie in together and coordinate. That's a fun idea. Like this would look really cute with buffalo plaid, a Santa shirt. That would also coordinate. I think it depends on how creative you want to be with the pajamas, because these might be hard to find matching at the thrift, but there's a ton of buffalo plaid here. I shared a little bit about a blanket the other day in my video that I bought for myself. I really like this. It is from Threshold, which is Target. It's this really nice soft mauve color. I think it's really pretty, and it would coordinate nicely with a little candle. I'm wondering if this has the colors that would work. They're a little bit off, but it could work. What do you guys think? It's soft enough that that could work. And then maybe with a mug, that's a nice cozy one. This is fun. It's like a scavenger hunt for me. Somebody said vintage dish towels, and I'm struggling with that one because I'm just not seeing any here. That's such a great idea. I am a sucker for things like this, like pottery, handmade pottery. And this is the largest one that I've ever picked up, but I have a small collection that I keep in my room with my journals and paintbrushes and fountain pen inks and stuff like that, watercolors. And I put brushes in here and little trinkets, and they all just kind of look nice together. I'll show you them side by side when we get home. If you know a cat person, look at this little cat cup inside. That is so cute. They're called creature cups, and this one is a little elephant. I think that is so adorable. So cute. This would be something that I would pick up specifically for somebody if I knew they liked cats or elephants. How cute are those? There's a dog one, I'd grab it. Okay, if you're interested in these, I just looked them up. They are on Amazon for about $18.99. They're only $2.99 here. Whoops, pick up on aisle 5. They're only $2.99 here, so definitely a cute gift. Oh, there's got to be someone I know who loves cats, but I'm not going to get it, but I think it's really cute. I might look over here and see what else they have. So many things. I talked about this before, but someone mentioned any sort of interesting tray if you bring treats, if you're doing like a cheese platter or anything like that to a party. That's nice. Then you can always leave the dish. Depending on what vibe you're going for, this is a nice little vintage look here. This is really festive for the holidays, but again, I try not to give too many holiday themed items because I want people to be able to use their stuff year round. But that is really cute. This is from Crate and Barrel, made in Italy. It would be really cute also for a little tray. No, there's a little chip on this, so forget it. Forget it. Made in Italy though, from Crate and Barrel. I bet that's old. This kind of has like a little mid-century vibe to it. This is kind of cool for the right person. That's neat. I feel like this would go with the vibe of Boston, but not the colors. It may go without saying, but if you are buying bottles of wine for gifts, there are plenty of wine glasses here at the thrift store. So many. You definitely want to make sure they're in nice shape, but these are pretty for like margaritas. Those are nice. Yeah, so many options here. My goodness. Somebody mentioned like lotions, hand creams, and little pampery type of things, which today is looking difficult here. I don't typically find a lot of lotion secondhand. Like something like this, they have priced at $10. There's just no way. Yeah, cute little... Oh my gosh, there's so many Rae Dunn things here. If you are a Rae Dunn person, come to Savers. I'm not seeing anything in the way of hand cream. Something like this is cute, but Steady Petty. That's interesting. That seems kind of gadgety, like it's going to end up on a shelf someplace. Striking out on a couple things, but these are great suggestions. They're just keeping me going. Oh, here's a mask. There we go. 24 gold and caviar face mask. 5 face masks, $2.99. That's a fun thing. Oh, it looks like it was just from TJ Maxx. But you know what? This could go in Angie's thrift bag. I'm going to give that to her. Plus, she just turned 24 and she had a 24 karat birthday party. I love it. These are some vintage Christmas hand towels. I think those could be fun. If someone was into like a little vintage look. Very cute. I saw this little cotton dish towel, but it's like a shell theme. Not really what I'm going for today. I think if you are in the zone, this would be a fun project to look for vintage linens. I'm not good at this. This is such a great challenge. I love it. I like these Stonewall kitchen towels, but this one has a little stain on it. Yeah, that one does too. I feel like most of these are stained. This is a vintage Stan Herman. Herman? Yeah, Stan Herman. There are bottoms that go with it that I may look for, but they're listed for like $75 or $80. But this is not what I'm here for today. I don't think I'm going to get it. But I was going to say that over here, robes are a really nice thing to look for. I feel like robes are something that, I don't know, I'm not a robe person, so I don't wear robes all the time, but they're quite expensive to gift sometimes. The only tricky part about thrifting a robe is the belt. I find that most of them are missing the belt, but if you can find something with the belt that's nice, it might be a nice little gift to go. If you can't find a blanket, you can go with a robe. Okay, I could be here all day. Note cards. I think note cards are a really cute gift. These are brand new. They look like they're in a little booklet. I personally would probably use these more. They're just thank yous. Kind of basic. Also, I'm bringing this single dish towel home to my mom because she decorates with poinsettias, and I think this will be cute like through the new year. She'll keep this up. Here's my coupon, and I saved $7.80. $32.82 is my total. Hi everybody, I'm home now. I tried to film a little bit in the car, but it was really dark when I got outside, so I'm home, and I'm happy that I took my time because I actually prepared one of the gifts in a fashion that I would actually gift it to a hostess or put in for a grab or Yankee swap or something like that. But I just wanted to show you some of the other pieces that I picked up. I don't have like a look put together for some of the other items, but I will build things as I continue to thrift up until Christmas. I really hope that this video gave you some inspiration for ideas to avoid those big box prices and the crowds and go to your local thrift store and find items to bring for your grab gift this holiday season. I was really touching on a lot of ideas today because people had written in, and in fact there were a couple that I missed. Somebody wrote in high quality wood boards that I thought would have been so beautiful to look at, and I can just envision a nice wood board with an arrangement of cheese and fruits on top and maybe like a little cheese knife and things like that. The possibilities are endless. Thank you so much to the people who wrote in and gave me some ideas. I say this all the time, but whenever I have any sort of a thrift challenge, it really pushes me to go to parts of the thrift store that I don't normally go to. Today was crazy because I barely looked at any clothing, which is normally what I look at. And it was also really fun for me today because, as many of you know, I've been trying to bring home a lot less, and it was really fun to just share ideas with you and not bring the majority of it home. It really helps me move towards my goal of less clutter in my life and my workspace. So that was really fun for me. I did end up taking home the bar cart book, and I'm gonna give it to Jay, my husband. When we remodel our living room area, there's this huge bookcase that literally just has junk in it all the time. In fact, the stuff that I donated today all came from that bookcase. I'm really looking to make it quite minimal. My husband's really into wines. He loves to read. We like tiki lore and cocktails, and we just like that vibe. And we were at a restaurant in Italy, the Terra restaurant, which is on the second floor, and they just had this big built-in wall with beautiful wine, and it looked like a bookcase, not like a wine rack. So it reminded me of what we had, and they had their arrangements so beautiful there that I was really inspired to transform that entire bookshelf into like a wine bar cocktail type of unit. We'll see how that unfolds. I need to approach it with intention, otherwise it just ends up a cluttered mess. There are a lot of fun ideas in here that I think he'll use, so I did get that for Jay. I did get the 24 karat caviar masks for Angelina. I got the impression that somebody might have used one or two and then threw them in here. Yeah, looks like they're all in here. So they come in individual masks like this. Maybe we can have like a little girl's night in. So yeah, I thought this might have been partially used, but no, it was brand new for $2.99 less 20%. That turns out to be about 50 cents per mask. So this is not going to a housewarming gift or anything like that, but that will go in Angie's thrift bag, which leaves me with the scarf that I absolutely love. A scarf is generally so versatile. It definitely goes nicely with gloves or a hat or mittens or a mug. There are so many things you can do with a scarf, but I just love the colors in this, and I think I will really be able to do something quite nice with this. This was $4.99. And when I think back to what my friend was saying about how she spent $25 on a candle, I mean, this was $4 for this beautiful blanket scarf. It's so pretty. This is just so festive. It's so soft. I'm not sure who's gonna get it for Christmas, but if you happen to be watching and you know you're on my Christmas list, you can, put in a request for thrifted items you like from my hauls. Oh my gosh, now my hair is all staticky. It's so dry around here. If you remember last week, I kicked off my happy holidays with this video, I think, and I got this scarf and these gloves. I still have the tag on these. The truth is, these fit me so well. They're leather gloves from Charter Club, which is sold at Macy's, and these were $6.99, and I think I had 30% off on this day. And this is just a vintage scarf that reminds me, it's like a combination of classic Ralph Lauren and Pendleton, but it's just a vintage acrylic scarf that was made in Italy. I would feel great giving this to a man or to a woman. I think it's so beautiful. I think it goes so nicely with these gloves. If you notice, I haven't decided who I'm gonna give it to yet because I love it so much. I happen to be someone who loves to give cozy gifts, so this is right up my alley. And then this I bought for myself. I'm going to somehow incorporate that in my craft room. I pick these up all the time. I have a couple creamers and sugars in this style as well. I went ahead and found some things around the house that I thought would look really pretty for that French press as a gift. I may even bring this to our Yankee swap on Christmas Eve. We divide into the girls and the guys do their swap on one side of the room and the girls do their swap on the other side. And I think this is really nice. We typically do $30 as a price point. The French press, like I said, I saw when I was in store, I saw it on Target, I swore, for $39. And then when I got home, I couldn't find it on Target, this exact one, but I did find it on Amazon and it was selling for $54. I think that's a little high. I think the real price for it is $40. I paid $10.49 less 20%, so $8 and change. Now, if I had a $30 budget for a swap, I could either give this and pocket some money. Everybody needs to save some money during the holidays where they can, or I would have more of a budget to buy other things. So I decided to add, I had this bag of coffee in the house, this peppermint bark coffee. Very festive. And I just went downstairs to where all of my gift wrap is and I found this holiday box. I will save holiday boxes from previous years. Two gift wrapping things that I think are really essential for last minute gifts, like for a hostess or a grab gift, is clear cellophane paper. And I always keep the clear treat bags, which reminds me, I was supposed to leave the recipe for my biscottis that I do at Christmas and Jay's mulled wine in yesterday's video. So I will be sure to go back and link both of those recipes, the sites where we got them. But I always wrap my biscottis in clear cellophane paper. This happens to have snowflakes on it. The same day that I got the other gloves that I shared with you, I got this package of holiday ribbons for $4.99 plus 30% off. So I use this red ribbon, and it's beautiful. Lumpy, you are really interested in this stuff. I wrapped this up with cellophane. I had it home, and I wrapped my two glass mugs that went with the fresh press. I mean, how beautiful do these look? This didn't cost me anything because these things were at home, but even if you went to the dollar store and got the cellophane for $1 and got your ribbon, it wouldn't cost that much money. One of the things I often do when I gift something is I'll put in Hershey Kisses or I will put in candy canes, like kind of sprinkle it in somewhere. And I didn't have either in the house today. I wanted to complete the look with that. But I did have like a Dollar Tree ornament. After years of my kids breaking glass ornaments when they were little, I started to get ones that weren't breakable. And I find a lot of them at the dollar store. So I just took a little ornament off my tree
That is from the dollar store. There's really no sentimental value to this. I have a bunch of them and I just put it in here. So I'm gonna show you what it all looks like put together. Let's say I paid $3 for the box, even though it was in my house, and $1 for the wrap, we'll say $4. And let's say that the bag of coffee was $7.50, just to make my math easy. That would be $11.50. And then let's say that the coffee press was $8.50 with the discount. So all in, this is just $20. And I think it looks beautiful. And here it is. I would probably keep this lid up like this and then wrap it with clear cellophane when I brought it to our house, or I would find a basket, but I really like how this is presenting. And I made sure to leave the Bodum packaging in there, so whoever gets this will know that it is new. You can be so intentional and make your gifts look like $1 million, even if they only cost you $8.50. I feel like I've been giving a lot of ideas for thrifted items for gifts, but then I'm not really showing finished products for you. I wanted to show you how I would present this gift in a grab. You could wrap this up and just give it to somebody on your Christmas list too. The point is, you do not have to spend a lot of money at the big box stores. You can create something that is really personal, and you can give a gift that the person who is receiving it will really be excited about, and it's not just going to be another grab gift that feels impersonal that they're probably going to re-gift the following year. But I am not anti-re-gift, just for the record. So if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me. I still have 5 or 6 videos that will go up probably before Christmas, even though Happy Holidays ends in just a couple of days. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more tips for holiday gift giving. For today's deal of the day, anything that I showed in today's video, whether it was a robe or houseware items, blankets, scarves, accessories, anything that had the vibe of something that you would give at a grab for Christmas, put it in a bundle, it will be 50% off. Say that it's the deal of the day. I'm sure there are some fun things you can find, and anything in my closet, whether it is the deal of the day or not, if it's new with tag or otherwise, is 30% off, but 50% off gifts that are pre-owned. I appreciate all of you who are participating. I will see you tomorrow for day 9 of Happy Holidays. Thank you guys so much for watching.